Hey guys, Timmy here. I'm releasing my rig version 6. Yay! How should we start? Alright. So, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the rig. I'm gonna go through all the features. I'm gonna show you how to append the rig into like other projects or the light worlds that will come with the rig. I will also show you how to take a Minecraft world and put it into your Blender thing so that you can render with that, and then I'll also show you how to do all of those with the default Blender render, as well as with cycles, which with my rig cycles is default. If you don't know what those are, I will get into that. Basically internal is not as good but renders faster, and cycles is what I use, but it takes longer to render. So yeah. Alright, so let's get into this. First is a setup, how to set this up. First you're going to want to open up Blender, and before you do that, before you do anything with a rig, you're going to want to hit File, User Preferences, and then in these tabs you're going to want to go to File, and then check Auto Run Python Scripts. Save user settings. Close that out, and that's all you need to do for now. Oh, I have it right here. Alright, so now when you download the rig, you will get this zip folder. So you're going to want to extract that. However you do, you will get these 3 files, and maybe I'll put a changelog or something else in there, but for now it's these 3 main files that you will get. Yep. Now all you need to know is where you saved that and where you extracted it from the zip. Then you can file, open, and figure out where that is. And then you can choose to, if you want, you can do the daylighting or night lighting, but for now I'm just going to show you the features of the rig. So yeah, if you don't see this over on the left, it might be hidden like this. You just hit the plus, and then you'll see these tabs. Hit Timmy's rig version 6. If you do not see this tab, that means you didn't do the setup right, and that's most likely you didn't check auto run Python scripts. So yeah. Alright, so now I'm going to show you all the features starting from top to bottom on this thing. So first let me make this bigger, easier to read. Alright, so over here at this thing we have skin file, and this makes it a lot easier to change the skin. So all you have to do is hit the little thing and then find your skin. So I think somewhere example. Yep, I'm pulling up Hulk again. I don't know why, but I have Hulk. Restricted select by default, that is off. That means I can't select the mesh pieces. If I turn that on or turn that off, it was on. If I turn it off, then I can select the individual pieces of the mesh and then go into edit mode and like edit them. Do some fancy extruding or whatever I want. Yeah, it's basically there so that you can do custom extruding, which I'm not really going to show you in this video, but I'll make a separate tutorial on how to custom extrude later. Show layers. If you turn it on, you'll see all the layers. Somehow I got my Blender to make it so that transparency is for some reason the transparency is like this, where I can actually see through the transparency of things. But if that isn't the case, then just don't worry about it. If you see like white textures instead of transparent, that's normal. That's how mine used to be. I don't know how I fixed it, honestly. I honestly have no idea what what I did. If it looks like this, then fantastic, that's awesome. If it doesn't, don't worry, you can just turn show layers off and it will still render with the layers when you render it. So yeah, show armor. If you have armor on, it will hide it. Okay, IK controls. So if you don't know IK and FK, FK is what I have set. If it's at 0, it's set to FK. FK is basically where it's forward kinematics. You rotate the bones to pose them where you want. However, IK is inverse kinematics, where you move a thing, which in this case looks like a ball, and the arm basically calculates. It basically is where your thing wants to be. And what's good about IK versus FK is if you move the torso or other parts of the body, it will keep the hand here as if he was like holding on to something, like a wall or something. So FK is or IK is pretty good if your character is interacting with anything in the world, like the ground or walls, or if he's picking something up, you can actually parent these little controllers to the object and then just move the object. However, FK, if you move it around, it will stay with the character. And for arms, I prefer this. For legs, it's not as preferable, but it does make it, for legs, it makes it pretty easy to do flips. So I do turn it on sometimes for the legs. The IK controller and the legs are like, I like to call them smart controllers, where the controller itself looks like it's like almost a shoe, and it's keeping the rotation of the leg. Even if you take it off, it's a pretty nice controller. If you turn on fancy feet, which is a new feature by the way, it will be like this. It's fancy feet. Hopefully you know what fancy feet is. If you don't, it's basically the Minecraft equivalent of toes or something. Like yeah, you can rotate this, it'll do that. In FK mode, if you have fancy feet on, you can still do the fancy feet. It's just a different controller. So yeah, so that's that. Here we have an option called torso, and you might be kind of confused what that is. I kind of made this fancy thing where if you rotate the top bone, it actually rotates the bottom as well. So it kind of makes it easier or more organic. Like if he wants to look that direction, that feels, it's just one movement. Where if you have this off, it's the default where you rotate it and it just rotates like that. You'd have to rotate like 45 and then rotate 40 or 45 again. And you notice that I had to move both of them. So yeah, it's kind of just something I like to use, which makes it easier to do certain things. I don't know. Head, by default, the head keeps rotation on the torso. If you set that to 0, it has its own rotation in the world space or whatever. So yeah, that's all the stuff in this tab, or not tab, but area or section. Now we're getting into the armor. Here we just have different armor types. 5 is chain, 4 is gold, 3 is diamond, 2 is iron, and 1 is leather. And then 0 is no armor. So you might notice this color thing. If you click it, it brings up a color wheel. If you are on armor, you can use this to change the color of the armor, leather armor. But obviously the color doesn't affect anything else other than the leather. if you are using the internal or the Blender render, the default render of Blender, the one that's faster, yeah, if you use that, the leather does show up, but the color, if you can't change the color, so if you do that, it won't change the color. So that's one thing that the Cycles version has that the internals version does not. So yeah, there's that so far. There's also chainmail, which I didn't have in my old rig for some reason, but now it is there. Also, you may have already noticed this, but the armor is in fact 3D. It is like custom extruded, even the buttons kind of stick out a bit on the armor. It's pretty nice. So yeah, also if you have show armor to 0, it will still render. So yeah, no, I'll just take off the armor. Next is face. So to do a face, you're gonna want to know some Photoshop, and what you're gonna want to do is make a faceless skin. So if you notice, wherever I saved my skin, you'll notice that if I do my no face one, there is like no eyes or anything. Hit use face and you'll have all of these controllers and stuff show up. By default, this is like where it is, but we have all these options to customize where the eye position and stuff are. So on my skin, the eyes are actually down here, and then you'll have to move the mouth down yourself. So yeah. Then eye height, my eyes are 2 pixels. Pupil height, I don't really go to 2. I kind of do in between because I think that looks better. For the eyes, we have this blink for right and left, and then we have like some motion here. For the eyebrows, you can move those down and change the color with the color picker. We have these controllers to just kind of manipulate the shape of the eyebrow. If you want, you can also take the bigger controllers and rotate it to, also show a motion and move it up and down. It's pretty nice. I think it works. You can change the height of the eyebrows and how extruded it is. If you don't want eyebrows, just set the extrusion to 0. Otherwise, yeah, do that. Back to the eyes, the controls, you just kind of move and it looks with it. You can rotate it to be cross-eyed. So if you rotate it that way, it's cross-eyed that way. If you rotate it this way, it's cross-eyed that way. So yeah, alright. The mouth control, down opens it, or makes it wider, is left and right. So it's pretty simple. You can rotate it to smile or frown. Over here we have a different shape option, so if you want to customize the shape, I kind of like the second shape. You can also separate the teeth, and also open and close the teeth. So yeah, that's kind of how the mouth works. So yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. There you go. There you have it. Pretty mad feller. I may have skipped this part. It also supports the thinner arms of the Alex model versus Steve model. So all you have to do is, back in IK controls, you set model size to 0. Alright. Alright, the next thing I'm going to show you is appending the rig into either a project you already have or a, I don't know, a new color. So the nice thing about this rig is it works in Blender Render, kind of. I mean, it kind of gets, yeah, it works in Blender Render. It doesn't really, you don't really see the layer. I'm not the best at Blender Render or internal or whatever you want to call it, so it's still not really the best, but it works, I guess. Even the face works a bit, not the color pickers though. So actually, if you want to change the color of the eyes and stuff, you would have to either do it in cycles, or you need to edit the material itself by turning off restricted select and selecting the head and then going to materials. So yeah, if you need to, I can do a tutorial on that, but it shouldn't be too hard. You guys should be able to figure it out. So for appending, either you can open up the daylighting that comes with the project, or you can import it into a project you already started or something like that if you want to, or if you want your own lighting. One thing though is if you import it into your own project, the little sidebar thing might not be there, the thing over here. So you might run into some problems there. The thing with that is all you have to do is open up the rig and then open up your project, and then the script will be running in Blender. As long as you have auto run Python scripts. But if you open up the project, even if the rig is appended in the project, the script isn't, so it might get a little annoying every time you close up Blender. You have to open up the rig first before you open up anything else. Anyways, so what I did was I opened up my daytime lighting, which is, you know, with the clouds and everything. It's pretty nice. What you want to do is hit File, Append, and then select the rig, Object, and then press A until everything is selected. Normally I would say just select everything that says char, because the shapes don't matter, but in the newest version of Blender, even if I don't select those, for some reason the shapes append anyways. So I've just been used to just selecting everything and then like box select these and then hit X, which is pretty simple. It shouldn't be too hard. If I do ever find a fix to this glitch I'm having, then I will probably tell you guys with an annotation right now or something like that. And then in that case, all you have to do is not select the things that say shape when you're appending. When you notice that right now I can't select individual bones, what you want to do is from object mode, hit pose mode, and now I can do that. And also the rig properties are over here, and they're just like before. Everything that I showed you, you can change the skin. If you want to have more than one person in the thing, just append it again. File, append, do it again, boom, there's a second one. And then same thing, pose mode. And they will have their own properties as well. So yeah, this one can have a face, but this one doesn't. Totally different armor, can also have a different skin. Yeah, so pretty basic. Yeah, like that. Alright, there you go. See, they're two different rigs. They have their own properties, their own skin, and they both work on their own. So yeah, that's because you appended it again though, you have to go back and delete the faces. So yeah, that's appending is really easy. If you have any questions, ask them, but I don't see why you would, because I think that was almost too easy. So yeah, now I'm gonna show you how to do a Mindway world. So yeah, yep. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how to import a Minecraft world into Blender. So first you're going to want to either download a map of some sort or create a new world. For this one I have Condas Hive. You just hit play world and you hop into the world. And basically this is where I used this map recently. Yeah, you can just download a survival games map or something off the internet, or just create your own map by building. What you want to do is find an area that you want to be there, and then all you have to do is go to that area. Sorry, I like to play with shaders. All you want to do is find the area that you want to do. So I'll be like, ooh, this soccer field is nice, I'm going to do this. So I just go to the soccer field, hit escape, save and quit, and that's pretty much it. Now you're going to want to download a program called Mindways. I have it right here. It's a pretty basic program. Hit file, open world, it will have all your worlds here. Hit the world you want to do that you were just in, hit view, and then jump to player. And you'll notice that it's kind of hovering over the soccer field right here. It will ask you stuff like the current lower depth or something. There's hidden lower layers. You can just hit yes. Then you have these sliders. You can adjust how high it selects or how far to the bedrock or stuff like that. And you'll notice that it has ways of selecting. So yeah. You can hit once you figure out where you want your range to be and all that, you can hit file, export for rendering, and then you want to find an area to save it in. So in this case I'm going to save it to desktop rig, which is the same area I saved my rig in, and then I'll name it test world. I'll name it test world, hit save. Alright, so some options are going to show up. What you're going to want to do is uncheck material per object, because otherwise you'll have to sit there and edit each material, where in this case it's one material and it's just going to be really a lot faster. Export separate objects, that's optional. You don't have to have it separate. Make each block, you're going to want to set that to 1,000. If you don't, as soon as you import it, you're going to want to hit S and then press 10 if you forget to do this, because otherwise the world will be like really tiny. And then also to help lag, I like to do hollow out bottom of model. That just kind of gets rid of some lag, but that's optional as well. So yeah, and then I'll hit OK. Alright, so yeah, you saw that there was a loading bar there. It's done. It did what it needed to. I can close this out. Now in Minecraft, if you want... Oh, I have no idea what I just did there. Oh, okay, there you go. Alright, so, I don't know. If you want... Okay, so what you need to do is select this plane thing if you're in the lights world. Hit X, delete, now it's gone. Now you can hit File, Import, whoop, and then wavefront.obj, and then click that. And then you'll notice right here where I saved it, I'll find the testworld.obj, and I'll hit import obj. So it will take a little bit depending on how big it is. It might take a while. Now that it's all selected, I'm gonna move it down. If I hold control, it will move one block at a time. And there we go. Now it kind of shows us everything. So, oops. Yeah. What you will notice though is that it doesn't look like there is any textures. So, if you're using my light world and you're using cycles, all you have to do is hit materials, use node, and then block, and bam, there you go. You can then start rendering or do whatever. You'll notice there's shadows. You can affect the shadows if you select this and rotate this. You can change where the shadows are pointed and stuff, or how bright everything is. There's a lot of customization to this, so yeah. Press numpad 0 to see what the camera sees, stuff like that. Pretty basic stuff. Though that's cycles. I'm gonna undo. If you are in Blender Render, and since I didn't do any lighting for Blender Render, so it's gonna be kind of iffy. You're gonna want to learn how to do lighting in Blender Render. I think you can actually take this sun. I don't know. It's been a while. I would actually delete this sun and then create a new sun so that it at least is compatible with internal. I think. I have no idea. I don't know how to get shadows to show up. Shadows, ray shadows. Alright. Alright, that's better. I would also probably turn on ambient occlusion, I think, or environment lighting. Alright, that's looking a bit better for lighting. I don't know. Here's just some basic lighting. Make a sky color. Nice sky color. You can hit blend sky, and then you can select the other color to be whatever it needs to be. Alright. Yeah, I think that's starting to look okay. I don't know. I'm not the best at lighting in internal. One thing though is you'll notice that when it looks fine here, but if you start rendering, all the textures are blurry. So I know that what you gotta do is select any of them, because they all share a material. Hit texture over here. Hit the little material thing, and then you're gonna want to uncheck. No, that's right. Uncheck the thing that says D. It's been a while since I've done this. Alright. Image sampling, you're gonna want to uncheck bitmap, uncheck interpol, and set this to box. And over here you want to check alpha. I think that's it actually. And then you'll render it, and it looks. Yep. Alright, so that's how you do that in internal. So yeah, that is probably going to include my little tutorial about my rig and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. This is Blender internal is not the best, because if you go to material, it also does some weird lighting thing. I don't know if there's a way to. I don't know. It's cool though. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's if you're in solid. Texture solid? No, it's still not showing up for the rig, so. Oh well, the rig will look fine in render, so. Yeah. That will include my little tutorial thing. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the rig. Download in the description. So yeah, bye guys.